Hey everybody, this is Lee Nazal here, and I wanted to go over with you the anatomy of a cold email that launched a six-figure consulting business. So, a little bit of background as to what this is. When I was starting out, this is about 9.5 years after I began online marketing. I was doing these live chats on the Washington Post. And what it is, the Washington Post hosted chats with people like celebrities and authors and experts and athletes and people like that. And fans or anybody interested would sit there on the chat and ask them questions, in a question box. And so I'd been following this one guy, this fitness guru, for a few weeks. Um, and I honestly was following him. I wasn't trying to get any business from him or anything like that. I was just truly interested in what he had to say. And around that time, I hadn't started my consulting business yet, but I'd wanted to, and I just hadn't gotten around, or I wasn't compelled enough to start it. So this is what happened. So this fitness guru, he let it be known that he was looking to start his own blog or his website. He hadn't had one of his own, and he was going to stop doing these live chats. So people were saying things like, how are we going to get in touch with you if you're not doing these anymore? So he said, I want to start a website, and I have 28 years of articles and just knowledge that I want to share. So, and he also made public his email address. So I went ahead and took the initiative and contacted him anyway, um, to see if he would be interested in working with me. Now, mind you, I didn't already have a client or anything like that. I had zero credibility. I had nothing. So it was, I was kind of afraid to do this. And I'd been in internet marketing for nine years, and with no results. I was doing one shiny object to another, like many of you guys, and um, so I just decided, what, this is my time. This is it. It's time to go for it. So this is what I did. I emailed him, and so I'm going to read this email, and then we'll break it down, the different components, and see what made it work. Okay. So first of all, you notice that it's from my personal Gmail account. It had no, I didn't have my own agency or anything. I didn't have, a domain that I was going to email from. So the subject line reads Washington Post chat and thanks. And so I went on with the message. So the message goes, hi, his name. Great chat yesterday. I'm really sorry that you won't be doing that anymore. Your insight and especially your background in his background here has helped me in my own quest. I lean more towards the what he teaches here, regimens myself, and then I made a joke about myself. Although you wouldn't know it from the blank. You mentioned a couple of times about starting a blog or a website. I'm sure you've already been approached a million times about it, but I figure I'll just try to put my name in the ring as well. I'd love to partner up with you to get those 28 plus years of articles out for the world to benefit from. I'm not a big time webmaster or anything like that. I work full time as a network engineer. But I have a couple of web projects in the pipeline, and I'd be honored to be part of yours. I'll even absorb all the costs of hosting, promoting, to an extent, developing and running the site. So let me know if it's something you want to look into. If not, that's cool. I'll try to catch up with you on your final chat. I have a burning question about such and such. Thanks a million, me. And then he responded that day, and he said, give me a call. He gave me his phone number, and let's talk. Where are you located? Best times are between 2 and 6. Weekends are fine too. All right. So basically, this is a cold email that worked. Um, and since then, this was about 10 years ago. Since this time, I've come to refine and sort of uh, come up with a formula um, about cold emailing that that works really well, and it's all based from this. Okay. So let me go over the components here. So first of all, since I've been following him, this is a very, personal conversational type of message. You can see in the subject line, Washington Post chat and thanks. So, you know, as someone who's been following him, and that's what he does, right? He's been doing these chats for weeks. So there's no way he wasn't going to open this because it's relevant to what he does and what he does frequently. So, great chat. I'm really sorry you won't be doing that. And then, so basically, I'm kind of complimenting him and thanking him for the insight that he's been giving on his chats, and that it's personally benefited me. Okay. And then I bring up, you mentioned a couple of times about the website. I'm sure you've been approached a million times, but I figure I put my name in the ring. That's kind of wishy-washy for me to say, but again, it worked. So, I probably wouldn't advise these days to say something like that, but again, it's just different every situation, and you just never know what people are going to respond to, especially when it's personal. Okay. So I'd love to partner up with you, and I'm not a big time webmaster or anything like that. So basically, here I'm saying I work full time as a network engineer. I already have another job. Okay, I'm not some slick marketer. I'm not some slick webmaster or admin or anything. I'm just a guy who's got a job, and I just want to help you with your website. So in other words, I had zero credibility, zero consulting experience. I didn't have a website even to show them. I always just tell them, hey, I kind of do this on the side. I was being honest with them. I just do this on the side, and I'd love it if we could work together. I have a couple of web projects in the pipeline. I'd be honored to be part of yours. I'll even absorb all the costs of hosting and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm saying, I'm trying to make it as risk free for you as possible. And then let me know if it's something you want to look into. So this message is really compelling for him because it's really personal, and it hits basically all, I addressed all these points. So for example, about 28 years of articles, and he mentioned a couple times about starting a website. I'm hitting all these points that only somebody who's been following him would know. Okay. If I was approaching this guy cold and I just heard of him today and I hadn't been following the chats or anything, and I was just saying, hey, Mr. Fitness Guru guy, I want to do your website. I'll get you number one on Google. I'll help you with Facebook. It's not going to get the same type of response, right? And it's not going to be as compelling to him, and it's not going to get him to notice anything. It's going to look like spam. But in this case, it's so personal and so, it just hits on all the stuff that he does. And, it's personal to me too. I'm telling him that what he's been saying and what he's been doing has been meaningful to me personally, right? Even though I'm asking him for business, basically I'm reaching out my hand. I'm saying, hey, this is me. I'm introducing myself, and I love what you do, and I would love to help you out. I'd love to be a part of this mission that you have. So that that's what I was saying. I'm not bashing him over the head with a sales message. I'm not telling him, that I'm going to get him number one on Google. You know what I mean? So the keys to this message, that's number one. It's just super personalized, and this is only something you can do, if you've been following somebody or if you research somebody thoroughly. Okay. So that's the number one reason why this worked. The number two reason it worked is because I even had a subject line that was really personalized and something that was really relevant to what he was doing, So there was no way he was not going to open this message. And then, after having read this email, there was a really, really, really good chance that he was going to respond. Okay. So if you compare this with, again, just some normal, email, even a spam email, or even something, that you craft, that's, even one that follows all the elements that I teach. If it's not this personalized, it's not going to get as much attention. Okay. So that's really what's compelling about it. And this is the lesson that you should take away from this, is that, when you know this much about your prospect and you can talk to these points, you can get them to respond almost every single time, and you can get them to open the message. And in this case, so he replied to me right away. He gave me his phone number. We had a dialogue, and it eventually led me to landing him as a client. And that started my 6-figure consulting business. Okay. So that's it for this video. I hope you learned a lot from this, and I will see you soon. Thanks.